Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a simple but uncomfortable question. Why do some people rise again and again while others stay stuck no matter how hard they work? Same city, same time, same opportunities, yet completely different results. Most people believe success is about talent, luck, or connections. But if that were true, hard work would guarantee progress. And yet every day, millions of people work endlessly and still feel empty, frustrated, and far from the life they imagined. The truth is, success is not created in big moments. It is created in small habits repeated daily. You don't suddenly become successful one morning. You become successful quietly through how you think, how you decide, and how you act when nobody is watching. While others wait for motivation, ultra-successful people build discipline. While others complain about time, they learn to control it. While others chase comfort, they chase growth. Here's something powerful. Your future is not shaped by your hopes. It is shaped by your habits. Every habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. If your habits are weak, your future becomes weak. If your habits are strong, your future becomes unstoppable. If you stay with me today, you'll discover the thinking patterns and daily behaviors that separate winners from wishers, leaders from followers, and builders from dreamers. This is not hype. This is a blueprint. By the end of this message, you will understand why some people escape average life while others stay trapped inside it, and more importantly, how you can start building the habits that create confidence, clarity, and control. Because success is not something you chase. It is something you prepare for. So take a deep breath, focus your mind, and get ready to learn the success habits of the ultra-successful. Most people try to change their life without changing their thinking. They want better income, better relationships, better confidence, but they keep the same old mindset. Ultra-successful people understand something simple. Your mind is the control center of your future. Every result starts as a thought. Before success becomes visible, it becomes believable. Look at two people in the same situation. One sees a problem, the other sees a possibility, same reality, different interpretation. And interpretation decides direction. Average people say, I can't do this. Successful people ask, how can I do this? That one question changes everything. For example, imagine someone who loses a job. One person panics, blames the economy, and waits for another opportunity. Another person says, this is my chance to upgrade my skills. They learn, adapt, network, and often come back stronger than before. The event was the same. The mindset was different. Ultra-successful people train their thinking daily. They read, they listen, they reflect. They don't allow negative thoughts to stay rent-free in their mind. When fear enters, they challenge it. When doubt appears, they replace it with learning. Here's a powerful truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your thinking. If your thinking is small, your actions stay small. If your thinking is disciplined, your actions become powerful. Think about athletes. Before they win on the field, they win in the mind. They visualize performance. They see themselves executing before the moment arrives. Your life works the same way. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm unlucky, your brain looks for proof of bad luck. If you tell yourself, I'm improving, your brain starts finding solutions. Ultra-successful people are not born confident. They practice confidence by practicing correct thinking. So the first habit is this: guard your mind, feed it growth, challenge your excuses, replace complaints with questions. Because when you master your mind, you stop reacting to life and you start directing it. Most people wait to feel ready before they act. Ultra-successful people act first and the feeling follows later. Motivation is emotional, discipline is intentional. Motivation comes and goes, discipline stays. That's why two people can start a goal with excitement, but only one finishes. The excited one depends on mood. The disciplined one depends on commitment. For example, think about going to the gym. On day 1, everyone is motivated. On day 20, motivation disappears. Only discipline keeps showing up, and results only appear for those who show up when they don't feel like it. Ultra-successful people build systems, not wishes. They don't say, I hope I work today. They say, this is my schedule. They don't ask, do I feel like learning? They ask, what must I learn today? Discipline is simply doing what is necessary, especially when it is uncomfortable. Look at successful entrepreneurs. They answer emails when tired. They learn when confused. They plan when distracted. Not because it's easy, but because it's required. Average people negotiate with themselves. Tomorrow I'll start. I'm too tired today. I'll do it later. Successful people remove negotiation. Here's a strong example. If you save money only when you feel rich, you stay broke. If you save money by discipline, you build wealth. If you practice skills only when inspired, you stay average. If you practice by discipline, you become elite. Ultra-successful people respect time. They know small daily actions compound into massive long-term results. 1 page of reading a day becomes books in a year. 1 hour of skill practice a day becomes mastery over time. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect. It is saying, my future matters more than my comfort. So build the habit of structured action. Set non-negotiables. Decide in advance what kind of person you will be when motivation disappears. Because motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Everyone gets 24 hours, but not everyone uses them the same way. Time is the most democratic resource and the most abused one. Average people spend time. Ultra-successful people invest time. There is a difference. When you spend time, it disappears. When you invest time, it grows. Think about this. If you watch random videos for 3 hours, you feel relaxed but unchanged. If you learn a skill for 3 hours, your future changes quietly. Ultra-successful people treat time like money. They ask, "This giving me a return?" They plan their days. They block distractions. They protect their focus. Look at a CEO. Their calendar is intentional. Meetings have purpose. Learning has space. Reflection has time. But average people live reactively. Notifications decide their day. Messages interrupt their focus. Here's an example. 2 students have the same semester. One studies randomly before exams. The other studies daily in short, focused sessions. Same books, same teachers. Why? Because time was structured, not wasted. Ultra-successful people also understand priority. They don't do everything. They do the right things first. They ask, what moves my life forward? What creates income? What builds skill? What strengthens health? Then they protect those hours. Another example, if you check your phone first thing in the morning, your mind becomes reactive. If you read, plan, or reflect first, your mind becomes proactive. Time discipline creates mental clarity. Your future is literally hidden inside how you use today. So build this habit, track your hours, eliminate low-value activity, replace noise with progress, because people who control their time eventually control their income, confidence, and destiny. You cannot manage life without managing time, and ultra-successful people don't find time, they design it. Success belongs to the fastest learners, not the smartest people. The world changes fast, skills expire, markets shift. The only safe advantage is the ability to learn continuously. Average people finish school and stop learning. Ultra-successful people finish school and start learning seriously. They read, they listen, they observe, they ask questions, they analyze mistakes, they treat life like a classroom. For example, when someone fails a business, an average person says, "It didn't work." A successful person says, "Failure becomes feedback." Another example, 2 employees face new software. One complains, avoids, and resists change. The other studies, practices, and becomes valuable. Guess who gets promoted? Ultra-successful people invest in education even when nobody forces them. They don't wait for permission to grow. They understand that income follows skill. Confidence follows competence. If you want more money, you don't wish for it, you become more valuable. Look at athletes again. They don't only train physically. They watch replays. They analyze techniques. They improve tiny details daily. Your career, business, and mindset work the same way. If you learn 1% better each day, in 1 year you are completely different. But learning requires humility. You must accept that you don't know everything. Average people protect ego. Successful people protect improvement. They ask, what can I do better? Who knows more than me? What skill will future demand? So the habit is simple. Read daily. Reflect weekly. Upgrade skills continuously, because in a competitive world, the best weapon is not talent, it is adaptability. Ultra-successful people never stop becoming better versions of themselves. No one succeeds alone. You may start alone, but you never grow alone. Ultra-successful people understand that environment shapes destiny. If you surround yourself with excuses, you learn excuses. If you surround yourself with ambition, you learn ambition. Your circle trains your behavior without your permission. Look at 2 people again. One spends time with complainers. The other spends time with builders. One talks about problems. The other talks about solutions. Guess who grows? Ultra-successful people choose relationships intentionally. They seek mentors, partners, and thinkers. They ask questions instead of impressing. They listen more than they speak. For example, if you connect with someone smarter than you, your thinking stretches. Your standards rise, your habits upgrade. Average people compete with friends. Successful people collaborate with allies. They don't ask, who is better than me? They ask, who can make me better? Relationships also require value. Ultra-successful people give before they ask. They help support, share, and create trust. Trust becomes opportunity. Think about business. Deals happen through people. Jobs come through networks. Growth travels through communication. Isolation limits success. Connection multiplies it. Also, ultra-successful people avoid toxic environments. They limit negativity, gossip, and emotional drain. They protect mental energy. So the habit is audit your circle. Upgrade conversations. Seek growth-oriented people, because your life rarely rises above your environment. And when you build strong relationships, they quietly build your future for you. The final habit of the ultra-successful is simple but powerful. They take full responsibility for their life. Average people blame. Successful people build. They don't say it's the economy. They say, what can I control? They don't say it's my past. They say, what's my next move? Responsibility gives power. Blame removes it. For example, 2 people face failure. One says, life's unfair. The other says, how can I improve? Same pain, different progress. Ultra-successful people own results even when circumstances are difficult. They understand that excuses protect ego but destroy growth. If you blame weather, people, time, luck, you give control away. But when you say, this is my responsibility, you take control back. Think about health. If you blame genetics, you stop trying. If you take responsibility, you improve habits. Think about money. If you blame the system, you stay stuck. If you take responsibility, you learn finance. Ultra successful people ask powerful questions. What did I do? What can I change? What must I improve? They don't wait for rescue. They become the solution. Responsibility is not pressure, it is freedom. Because when you own your life, you stop being a victim and start being a creator. So build this habit. Replace excuses with action. Replace blame with strategy. Replace fear with ownership. Because the moment you take responsibility, your life begins to move forward. And that is the final habit of the ultra successful.